Well, thank you. My name is Ludia Suryatnyani and my friend's name is Devi Nuraini. We are going to present Purse to Strosan, started from me. We started from Charles Sanders Peirce. Charles Sanders Peirce was highly original thinker, American philosopher, and he took a summa cum laude degree in chemistry at Harvard Pragmatism. And the only book he published, Photometric Researches, was a work of astronomy. And around 1872, joined with William James, we are going to talk about him later, and others in a discussion group known as Metaphysical Club. And Peirce proposed fallibilism. It is anything that claims to be human knowledge may, in the end, turn out to be mistaken. For example, when you see a woman like this picture, well, maybe you think that this woman is crying, or maybe she has a lot of things to think about, but now they believe that any idea that you have could be wrong. Well, here fallibilism also proposed that knowledge is something that can be revised or revised and revised. Next, pragmatism. Charles Sanders Peirce stated that to find the meaning of an idea, we must examine the consequences to which it leads in action. So, the theory of meaning proposed by Peirce first presented what he referred to as pragmatism. He firstly, yeah, in the 1878 articles, how to make our ideas clear. And the article was largely ignored until James devoted a series of lectures to it. So James, who mentioned again the pragmatism that's firstly proposed by Peirce. Charles Sanders Peirce also mentioned the semiotic for the first time. In the last year of his life, Peirce worked hard to develop a general theory of science, a semiotic as he called it, as a framework for the philosophy of thought and language. He left a mass of unpublished drafts, so many things not published yet. Peirce's work in logic was never presented in a fully rigorous form. It was Frege who, through Russell, gave the world the logical system. He failed to obtain the tenure and he lived in poverty. That was about Charles Sanders Peirce. Next, the second one is Frege. Gottlob Frege was a German philosopher. He was known to few people in his lifetime, not so popular, but after his death came to occupy a unique position in the history. Why is it unique? We are going to discuss it later. He was the inventor of modern mathematical logic and an outstanding philosopher of mathematics. Analytic philosophy, which focuses its concern on the analysis of meaning in language. Few of his colleagues struggled to read his books because he was so original at that time and perhaps different from the other people at that time. And for his most important work, he had difficulty in finding publisher. Logicism. Yeah, in 1879, Frege developed a new system that had permanent place at the heart of modern logic, the proposition of calculus. I'm sure that you know about this calculus, but we are not going to discuss further about this. He wanted to show that the two systems, a formal system of arithmetic as well as the system of logic, arithmetic and logic, were intimately linked. Yeah, he wanted to link both of them. Yeah, all the truths of arithmetic he claimed could be shown to follow from truths of logic without the need of any extra support, known as logicism. Yeah, just arithmetic and logic just don't need extra support. For example, yeah, waiter may know that there are as many knives as there are plates without counting, yeah, without knowing how many each there are. All he needs is to observe. Logistic set of things. Yeah, Frege was burned by Russell. Yeah, Frege's neat idea, his masterpiece actually about sets of things. In Bahasa Indonesia, it is himpunan. Well, we know about this, yeah. Bertrand Russell then said that let's consider the set of all sets that are not members of themselves. Is it a member of itself? So that questions propose the inconsistency of mathematics. Yeah, suppose it is in the set and suppose it is not in the set will have really contradictory each other. I would like to give you example. Yeah, for example, in a village, in a country, there is only one barber and there's no other barber except him. And for example, Mr. S is the barber. This barber cannot cut his own hair. This barber only cut other people's hair who cannot cut their own hair. So the people who cannot cut their own hair will go to the barber shop. Next, the question is, who will cut Mr. S hair? Yeah, if we say, for example, as the set of all sets that are not members of themselves, okay, is as a member of itself. If we say that Mr. S will cut his hair to the barber and go to the barber shop, so it's not in line with the definition that Mr. S is the only barber who cannot cut his own hair. So he cannot be the member of this barber shop. Well, if we say that no, he's not in the set, he will not go to the barber shop. Yeah, in fact, he needs to cut his own hair, but he cannot cut his own hair by himself. So the two things, whether in set or not in set, will get contradictory. Set of things. Gottlob Frege. Next, Frege then failed to derive arithmetic from logic, but made innovation in logic and advanced in philosophy that permanently changed the whole make of both subjects. But previously, really need to show that arithmetic and logic really linked each other, but here, then Frege failed to prove that. Next, William James. William James, he was born in New York, the son of Swedenborgian theologian and the elder brother of the celebrated novelist Henry James. Perhaps you know this name, yeah. He became professor of philosophy, a subject subject that fascinated him since his discussion with Peirce and others in Metaphysical Club in 1872. So we relate this third philosopher, William James, with the first that I discussed earlier. Yeah, Peirce and James. Well, Peirce firstly proposed pragmatism, and it was not accepted by the people at that time until James mentioned that and make the book entitled Pragmatism. Yeah, pragmatism is an empirically based philosophy that defines knowledge and truth in terms of practical consequences. So it means that it is as simple as when it works, when it can give us benefit or profit, so it's true. Okay. In the book, James mentions and explains 6 important things. The first one is philosophical temperament. He thought that philosopher beliefs choose the beliefs based on their individual temperament, not because of the logical reasoning. And the second one, theory of truth. This is theory about pragmatism by William James. Truth is something or whatever that can prove itself to be good in the way of life. Yeah. So as long as it can prove to be something that good for us, so that's true. Next, number 3, theory of meaning. This theory of meaning proposed by Peirce and different from James, both of them are pragmatism. Different from James, Peirce believed that thinking and meanings are context dependent. Context includes emotional, includes intellectual, includes social as well, and others. So really the experience there. So because this slight difference, yeah, Peirce changed that this theory meaning becomes pragmatism. Next, number 4, holistic account of knowledge. This is about belief, disbelief, and doubt. But number 5, metaphysical view. This is a religious experience of an individual. Yeah. Number 6, method of resolving philosophical arguments. And he stated that when our intellect cannot solve the genuine option, so emotionally, we must decide. Pragmatism, William James. Next, Russell's. Bertrand Russell's. Bertrand Russell, someone who sent letter to Frege. Yeah. Max Freigeband. Yeah, he was founder of analytic philosophy. He was inventor of type theory and most influential philosopher, although not the greatest one in the 20th century. Paradox. Yeah. Firstly, he made a book, Principle of Mathematics, yeah, Bertrand Russell. And along with Lord Whitehead, he made Principia Mathematica, and the concept deals battle the concept from Frege. So Russell sent later to Frege about considering the sets, the masterpiece of him, and then he encountered the paradox that bear his name. It names as Russell's paradox. Also, analytic philosophy. I'm sure that you are familiar with the word analysis, yeah, analytic. Here, along with G.E. Moore, okay, proposed this analytic philosophy. Analysis was first and foremost an anti-idealist slogan. Instead of accepting the necessity of understanding the whole before one could understand its part, Moore and Russell insisted that the right road to understanding was to analyze the wholes by taking them to pieces. Yeah, small pieces analyzed to understand the whole. So that's the concept. Next, the logical analysis. Okay, this is what we know about premise, yeah. How to rewrite sentences, preserving their meaning, but removing the apparent attribution of being the non-existent. Yeah, for example, the king of France is bald. Instead of saying that the king is bald, this is the way to say this. This is called logical analysis. Yeah, we'll avoid offending the king. Yeah, there exists some X, which is the king of France, and for all Y, if Y is the king of France, Y is identical to X, and X is bald. Okay, there's no sentence the king is bald, but here each of the sentence perhaps don't get the meaning, but when they were together, the meaning is the king French is bald. Well, that's all about my presentation. For next, Wittgenstein and after Wittgenstein will be presented by Devin Wright. Thank you.